All right, welcome. Several people have asked, how are you using AI? I want to just walk through a few tools, just get folks familiar. This is a few different workflows. It's for your marketing. It's for someone who's just trying to understand how could I use this? And then this is also for the job hunters. I think what I'll show you here, if you're not doing a little bit of this before you go into an interview, honestly, I'd wonder what other prep you could do if you're in marketing. So that's the purpose. I'm trying to do this under 10 minutes, could be 12. Here are the three tools I want to walk through: Perplexity, Claude, ChatGPT. How to use them, how you can get better results using each of them. Perplexity, AI search engine. You know, so I would go right now, if you default to Google, think about defaulting to Perplexity, especially as it relates to marketing. Claude, complex reasoning. Think if you've been using ChatGPT, think it's another ChatGPT. Some would argue better. Their advertising would say they're better. I would say I would just think of it as another thinking partner to you. And ChatGPT, creative content, conversational writing, I do think of them right now with the way they come out is these are competitive tools, but they're really good to use together. I'm going to making up a use case for us to walk through to see how some of these are. Picked on Tire Rack. I didn't know them, don't work with them, don't know anyone there. Did a little research, seemed like a great company. Found that they are running Meta ads. They're running Google ads. They've got an affiliate program. They're somewhere between 175 and 500 million. It didn't matter to me to fact check exactly that amount, but at least that gave me a range. This is a real business doing some real volume. Didn't have brand guidelines or media kit. I'll share when I would have used that had I been doing this for a job interview. So here is demo one. Create a data-driven creative brief. Obviously, you want to do some quick research, create a segmentation, and then start to build a brief. So when we do the research, this was the logic here. Okay, we're going to go over to Perplexity. We sell tires. It's winter. So tires, winter. I want to know the best-selling sedans in the US. The reason I want the best-selling sedans is if I want to sell a lot of winter tires, I probably want to sell tires. I want to have a big addressable market. We got Camry, Corolla, Accord. There's units sold in 2023. I'm not too worried if these are accurate. This is close enough for what I'm trying to do. This is the big caveat. You have got to fact check stuff. So if someone asks you, I need absolute, without a shadow of doubt, how many Corollas were built, I probably wouldn't use this number. I would go down some different tracks to make sure this is the right. Still a good starting point. Beauty of Perplexity, it actually shows the sources of where it's getting this data. So you can hover over and go, okay, this is how many Camrys. They got this from CarPro. They got this from Edmunds. All right, so we know we got Camry, Corolla, Accord. Now back into just the marketing mind. I know these three cars. I now want to create some segments based on the owners of those cars. Let's pretend you don't have access to a bunch of segmentations. You don't have access to a great research partner and you don't have budget to do this, but you do still need to deliver a creative brief to your team. Okay, so if I'm doing that, I want to create segmentation for Corolla, Accord, and Camry owners. Okay. I didn't give a great brief here, but there's a reason. Now I'm in ChatGPT. Oh, I did in this one use the O preview. I'm going to actually switch over to 4 here in a second. This one's quite interesting, using a lot more reasoning. I love the UX here. Thought for 17 seconds. Gives some additional steps on how it's thinking. This is beneficial just if you're wondering, but here's the segmentation. I've got age groups, income levels, family status, psychographic. This is not actually what I was hoping to get out. And so I'm going to tell it that. I'm also going to move over to 4.0. Now, here is the beauty of conversational AI. People will hear word conversational and go, what does that mean exactly? Well, it's just that, conversational. This isn't exactly what I was hoping to get. I actually wanted personas. I need 3 distinct personas for owners of those cars. I'm also going to go, I am selling winter tires. I'm focused on selling them to sedan owners. I want you to know that right now. Okay, we're sell it. Now, this is in ChatGPT. Okay, this was more. I got a family-focused commuter. I've got an eco-conscious solo adventurer. I've got a value-conscious senior driver. Okay, this is where the human element. What's interesting to me here is, I guess we've got one family-focused commuter. All right, we've got some pain points. So let's pretend this is pretty close. We think this is close enough. Here's how I like to we think this is the ChatGPT thinking partner. I'm going to go over to Claude, which is, remember, this is kind of competitor, we'll call it. And I am going to go create a new chat. And I'm going to say, I have a decent segmentation for Corolla, Camry, and Accord owners. I'd like you to review it. Please improve it. I will use this for a creative brief. I'm going to paste it and I'm going to go. So my little mind, I actually think of this about going, I'm in grad school. You got a friend here who's pretty smart and you're like, I'm going to go talk to them. And then you get information like really good. And then you're like, oh, but I want to talk to this person too. Cool. I've got my draft. Hey, would you come take a look at this? And I would call this wisdom of crowds. But obviously this is like crowds upon crowds, the infinite level. Here, Claude comes back. They kind of use a little different interface. So here on the left going, hey, I've significantly enhanced the personas with several key improvements. And Claude tells us what happened. And then on the right, here we go, okay, got more of this. So now refined vehicle owner persona for winter marketing, practical professional, lifestyle and behavior. Interesting, we're getting some ideas. Once again, you got to fact check this. You got to know, you got to use both assume if you're in marketing, you've probably been doing this maybe for a long time, maybe only for a little time, but you still got to use the human brain, usage patterns. Now we're getting into some things. Now, if I actually work for a tire company, I probably have a lot of this already. So this is to help the marketer who doesn't know, which is also why I say, if you are looking for a job and you are talking to a company and you are going in and you haven't done something like this before, so you can come in with thoughtful questions, then I do question, like, you really want that job? If I am going to VF Corp, I better be picking a few of their brands and starting to go, oh, how would I do this? How would I do that? Do some work. You're going to a small B2B company, but you don't know that much about it. Start doing some research, and not just research. I would start to play around and actually create a marketing plan, create a brief, create a campaign, go in with some thoughts on how you can help drive revenue for them. Okay. So now I got these personas. I do have them living in two different groups. They're two different spots, right? I got ChatGPT and I got Claude. Now I need to create a creative brief. I am going to do this on Claude right now. And I'm going to say, now I need a creative brief for my creative team. We have a campaign running from November 15th to December 15th. This is an important campaign. Very important. I'm under a lot of stress to drive a lot of sales. We are behind, so we need an exceptional campaign. I'm typing and I can't see everything, so sorry for some errors. Campaign that is targeting two of the segments. I don't know, let's hear that you got equal budget for both. These will be on Meta. Ideally, if you're in a big team, you'll actually have a media buyer that you're talking and collaborating with, but I'm skipping that step. This is more of a demonstration on how you can create a brief. I will also have some UGC affiliates, influencers that are happy to create some content. Let's start with 7 headlines, and then we will narrow down. This is old school. I do love to start with headlines. I say it's old school. You look at an Ogilvy, you look at a Drayton Bird, you look at Hoffman, everything headline. Even today, the headline was important for newspapers. It's really important now. Now, you're going to see on the right, it's got a lot. And honestly, this was too much information. I probably should have gotten this down. I really did want to start with headlines so I could then narrow down, and did not get what I wanted. And this happens a lot. Got a list that I had to kind of, when your family safety can't wait for winter's worst. Ooh, okay. I think any of that's good. Okay. Just want to look at 7 headlines. I need them to really resonate with the personas. So let's look at your best 7. Trying to guide it, and then I'm going to show you why I use ChatGPT on some of these. So now I'm tapping into 7. It's telling us what it's doing. We've got it on the right. Okay. Now, interesting here is with Claude, it's actually even talking, would you like me to explain the psychological triggers to any particular headline? And right now for this demo, don't really care. Now I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. I do use this a little bit more. I have 7 headlines for campaigns. I'd like to narrow these down to the best 3. Okay. Now, kind of like now, I have 2 different friends. Now I got these 2 friends and I'm still using both of them. And now we're starting to get a little bit better here. Your kids asked for snow days. You got winterproof days. Now that's kind of interesting. We could hand that off to a creative team and get some pretty interesting creative. Smart enough for your commute, safe enough for their futures. Okay. For urban winters. That sounds lame. I mean, won't be a self-select. And this is where the power of a great creative team. So now you go, well, you got to hand this off. So I would like a robust creative brief for my highly talented creative team. They are ninjas, but like every great creative, they need a good brief. Please include the persona information and make sure you call out the key emotions we want to evoke. Let's focus on the headline, your kids asked for snow days. I'm going to put ... Usually we'll pick that up. Okay, here we go. That's it of this demo. That's what we have. Now, ideally, you work for a company, you have real data in this, so you can put that together. But this helps get you to a place that you can really help set your creative team up for success, and not just creative team, but now you got something you could share with your affiliates and influencers. This is a great thing to oftentimes hand off to the digital PR team, because they can start thinking through how they're going to pitch. And you can look at some of this stuff. This is where ideally you would start to put in some of your brand information if you have a brand voice and things, so that you can make sure that that aligns and you don't end up in a place that you are creating campaigns that don't align. All right, part 2, another little demo. This demo is on SEO content creation. It's not creating the thing where you copy and paste this straight into a blog, but this is the place to get V1, a draft. So now let's just stay on this topic of winter tires. Okay. So we're going to go back to Perplexity. What are the top keywords for people searching for winter tires for a sedan, like a Camry or a Cord? Now, please, if you are an SEO expert, I know you have much better tools. I know our team has much better tools. But for those who are just trying to create the draft to get it over, this is not a bad start. So here we go. Top keywords. Right now, I would tell you to read more, but I'm going to take this. I'm going to go here. I am going to keep this in the same thread because we've got a lot of information, and I'm going to go. Now I need to get 3 article outlines for my copywriting team. I have some keywords, but ultimately I'm most interested in generating an article that is useful for the personas. I like to put that in kind of the same way I like talking with anyone who's creating SEO content. Yes, there are ways to air quote game a system, but you don't really game the system long term unless this is truly useful information. There's too many hacks out there where people are, still, I'll go back 20 years and go keyword stuffing. It those kind of tactics work for a short moment. The long term is really creating useful content. Okay. Why winter tires matter for sedan owners, top picks, review, sizing guide. Now, this is if you work for a tire company, you want to put in what matters to you. You probably have a lot of tires. I looked at the tire rack. I don't know this business, so I don't know which tires they prefer to sell. But obviously, they'll want to pick the tires that they sell. Obviously, they'll pick the good ones. I looked up their history. They looked like a good, reputable company. So, there we go. You have this. Now, this is where I've got a second one. Oftentimes, this is where I will like to bounce between two of them, between Claude and ChatGPT. And the reason is you get something different, and you might like it better. Is our target persona really going to benefit from this article? If not, please make it great for them. Okay, this is taking one of them. Now we're going. Now, what I like about this one is it starts to talk about some of the keywords. This is where whoever your SEO expert, maybe it's you, maybe it's someone on your team, they can look at this and use some of the other tools they have to see if those are terms that on your site you can win on. And now we've got a article outline. Please, please, please. And this is the end. Some of the final remarks. Always verify the AI generated data and statements. Weird stuff still will come out. Maintain the brand voice. This is where the human is so important. I like to think of it in my mind, AI is V1. It's just getting you to V1 better before you can really get into your craft. Blend multiple tools for the best results. The common pitfalls, unverified data, skipping human review, and then just generic junk. Lastly, have the FAFO mindset. Fool around, figure it out. It was the best advice someone gave me several years ago. It is so good. You can watch this. You can watch a bunch of training. You can go ask ChatGPT to do a training for you, but you will learn more by getting familiar and just trying it. Once you try it a few times, those first few are going to be a little clunky. You're going to be like, actually, this took me more time than if I would have just done it my old way. But as you get used to it, you'll start to see speed and start to see where the efficiency comes up. Hope this helped. Thanks.